these three tools are the configuration management tool. Okay, so what do you mean by configuration management is that uh, why we did not take these tools is because the same job which is expected out of configuration management is being done using the Docker and Kubernetes solution. Okay, so right now as all the companies are moving towards Docker and Kubernetes, what we understood there, a similar concept is applied in Cheff, Puppet, and salt stack as well. Okay, but what is the major differences between all these three would be their way of working. So all these three also work in master slave architecture only. So before that, let's understand what is configuration management. Okay, say for example you are working for a company wherein you have a lot of customers. Maybe it is a retail one, whether it is a finance or insurance, anything. So you will be at most serving the customers, right? So for that you need to have different servers and many number of servers wherein you need to keep all of them active to make sure your application is highly available, right? Say for example your company is having many applications, and all that applications with respect to infrastructure view, it has say 5,000 plus servers. Okay, for those 5,000 plus servers, if there is a software update coming, let's take a sample example. You say that you are going to use right nowadays all the software updates are automatically done if you are connected with the internet. But in case if it is your custom application which needs updates, right? So you have a newer version of your application, you want to roll out this newer version to all the servers, or if it is a patch upgrade, or if it is any kind of update that you want to do it with respect to the server's configuration, that's where your server management tools will come into picture. If you want to roll out that change, what happens is you can do it manually. If it is 5,000 servers, you can have many resources, you can do it, you can give them the steps that they need to follow in order to update a particular software or a package. They can go ahead and do it. But if the servers keep on increasing and if you don't have enough resource to do all this management, what will you do? That's where your configuration management tools like your Chef, Puppet, and SaltStack will come into picture. So what these tools will do is that they follow a master slave architecture, what we have seen in Docker Swarm and also in Kubernetes. So they have this master slave architecture because if you want to execute, let's take a small command itself, like say for example you need to open the command prompt and you need to execute ls just to list out the files. This is a simple task that we wanted to do in hundreds of machines. How will you do that? You have to ideally connect to those machines first. So to connect to those machines from the central server to all the 100 servers, you need to have a pre-connected environment present, right? That's where your Chef or Puppet or SaltStack will help you. So whenever you introduce or when you start installing your Chef and Puppet, you will configure the number of servers you're going to map for that central server. Okay, so that how we have seen in Ansible as well, right? So Ansible is also the newest tool. It is also a configuration management tool wherein the way it works is quite different compared to these three tools. These three tools are entirely dependent on a special language like your Ruby, and it is DSL, and also Salt Stack is written in Python. So all these are language specific, and the configurations or the installation, if anything goes wrong, how do you set it up back? All these configurations are little bit difficult because the language is not that comfortable to use until and unless you are a proficient in Ruby or Python or DSL, because DSL is the language that is used for Puppet. So you,
One question,
yes.
Jyoti. I saw one document that Puppet And Safe is for pull configuration, and Solstack and Ansible for push configuration. What is the thing actually?
Yes, I'll tell you that as well. See, whichever uses pull and push. So there will be two concepts when you want to deal with the master slave architecture, right? So master slave architecture means one will be server, you will have 100 nodes. Server will have all your configuration. This server will push the configurations to all the nodes. That is called as push. So push configuration is being used in Ansible and all the other tools. Okay. What
No,
is pull? Pull means
no,
if
no.
you
One thing that
yes,
they have actually in that document, they have mentioned particularly that uh, Puppet and Safe is for pull configuration, and
exactly,
Solstack and Ansible for push configuration.
correct. So pull and push works the way how you are going to execute the commands. It's like whether you are taking the commands from the child or from the master. Push means you're pushing the configuration from the master to all the nodes. Pull means the nodes will interact with the master to get the updated configuration. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Got it, right? See, all these tools perform the same activity, but we need to understand how the behavior happens, how we can go ahead and change the configurations, and also how to install. Because as these are language specific, you need to understand that language or be prepared with that language before you go ahead and deal with that particular tool. Okay, being out of all these tools, Ansible is becoming quite famous now, because whatever DevOps tool you're dealing with nowadays are using either latest is JSON, latest is actually Go language. After Go language, most of them are using JSON, and then it is YAML. So that YAML is a readily understandable kind of language. Like if you see, when we were using the Ansible files, right, YAML files to write it, not only in Ansible, even in Kubernetes, if you see, we used to see key and value pairs, which is understandable. It is not a different language which you cannot understand. It's not like that. You can easily make out and you can easily write the configurations inside that YAML file, so that it is easy for you to understand the multiple configurations and push your configurations to all the nodes using these tools. Got it, right?
Yes.
And Chef and Puppet, what they do is that they have this master and slave kind of architecture. Even the salt stack, in salt stack they usually call it as minions. Like one will be your master server, and all the nodes they usually call it as minions. But in these two, they usually call it as master slave or client and server nodes, server and client nodes as the representation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not going to see in detail, like I'm not going to show about the installations of all these three tools, because it is really less compared to what is being used nowadays. Instead of all these tools, we are using Ansible, because Ansible uses push configurations, and it also is agent less, means agent free solution. Like for all these configurations, if you're using Chef, Puppet and SaltStack, what you need to do is that before you go ahead and actually do the update, like as an example, we took the software update, right? So if you want to do that update, first you need to make sure you're installing Chef and Puppet, and making sure that you're defining Chef master. Say for example, out of 100 you're defining 5 as your Chef masters, and all the other machines as the slave machines. Okay, and then there will be the configuration file wherein you define these masters are configured to handle these many slaves. And in the configurations also, you will define what all should be present. Like if something goes wrong, you should revert back the particular stage with the backward. Say for example, if based on a software update, if the application is not working, then that time if you want to change the configuration for 1000 servers, it's not possible. Immediately your tool, that means your configuration tool, should be configured in such a way that if there is any error, if the configuration is not as per the expected configurations that you have defined, immediately roll back to the stable state. That's where your configuration management is becoming popular, and it is popular also. Okay, and for Chef, Puppet and SaltStack, what you need to do is that in order to make the connection, because right now we are following the master and slave architecture, right? So master should be connected to all the servers, means all the client servers in one or the other way. In Ansible, what are we doing? We are using the SSH connection, correct? So if you remember, whenever we were dealing about what is that called, inventory files, inside the inventory files we would define the master with the IP address, and then the slaves with the IP address, and the connection how we are going to make, like how many if I want to install this particular software to all the 50 machines which is there as part of my Ansible configuration, then what I would do, there will be two kinds of connection, right? One is SSH for your Linux machine, WinRM for your Windows machine, correct? That's how you go ahead and connect to your machines. But here in the Chef, Puppet and SaltStack, you need to make sure you're installing an agent, that is your client agent, so that via this agent only you will be communicating. The communication between these two servers will be different for different tools. Like Chef, it might be using SSL connection. Puppet, it might be using agent workstation connection, like that. Okay, so this is deeper to understand how
One question.
the
Like,
architecture works.
here,
Yes.
yes. Suppose that master is required and that you are saying that slave. Slave is actually the host machine, you are saying, or what?
Yes, everything is a machine.
No,
You
no,
need to
no, no.
define.
No, my question is that one. You are saying that slave node is 100 or whatever the thing.
Correct,
But
correct.
thing is that that is the hosted machine what we are going to where we are going to host our applications or what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So host machine is a machine where all your applications will be hosted. And why there is a need for having many servers is because an organization will have multiple applications, and also they would need to serve many users at the same time, right? For high availability solution and to have different applications served without any interruption, this configuration management should be in place. Okay. Okay, so yeah, in Ansible we don't use any agent kind of thing, because we are not installing any particular agent software inside the client machines for the connections to happen between the master and slave. Okay, that's where Ansible has become a very useful and wide tool for configuration management, and it is easier also to understand because it is written in YAML.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, so this is all about the overview to talk about Chef, Puppet and SaltStack. To be frank, I have not worked in detail about all these three tools. So I don't know about the different configurations used in these machines, but I know that this works similarly to Kubernetes, because if we are working with Kubernetes also has the same structure, client and master structure, so that we can understand the similar configurations and the similar concept which will be applied to Chef and Puppet as well.
Okay.
Okay, if there is a if there is a scenario for you to choose between the configuration tools, which tool to use, then I would say please prefer Ansible first, then Chef and Puppet if the companies are asking you to use it. But you can tell them that Ansible is much more easier to use and also agentless approach, so that we don't have to depend upon an additional software to be installed in all the client machines. We can go ahead and do the configuration without that using Ansible. Okay.
Okay. But still now some companies are using this type of tools.
Yes, they are using. Chef and Puppet are being used by most of the organization as well. Why? Because before Ansible came into existence, the tools that they were having the option was Chef and Puppet only. So they started using it. Right now, to switch from Chef and Puppet to Ansible, it might take a lot of time, right? And also there will be application which has to be 100% up. So they might be in the transition period, but for sure they will be having Chef and Puppet usage.
Because I saw some requirements like if SAFe should be that to be there. That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah. They will be using, yes. But you can suggest them, we can use Ansible as well, because that is also a similar kind of tool which can do all the properties and the configurations that your Chef and Puppet is doing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is what is about these three tools, not in a broad view, just an overview about what and how these tools will be used. Okay, and I think we are at the end of the course, but I know that you both will be coming back to the other batch as well. So
Ramesh, you are not coming. What happened? 4 to 5.
No, no. Actually, for this complete week, I have one more call from 4 to 5. So I'm not able to join this actually.
okay, and Ganesh, you are getting the what is that recording from Chatterjee, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you can share that with
Yeah,
Ramesh also, so
yeah.
that
Sure.
Uh, so for GoToMeeting, we have to do sign up, or
No, no,
is it?
no.
you have to install that application, Ramesh. Like how you have installed Skype, you need to
Okay.
install GoTo as well.
No,
Okay.
download the app only.
Yeah.
If will that will sign in, then it will be 14 days validity only.
Okay.
Yes. Without sign in also, I think you can attend, right, Ganesh?
Yes, I am doing that thing.
Yeah. Because again they'll ask for trial. I usually don't like GoTo, but this batch, no, they wanted to have it in GoTo, the organizer. So I'm
Then
fine.
who has the actually authentication to join the thing? Who is the
Uh,
user ID or what?
it is from a institute. Like yeah, that guy has created that login name. I'm using that one itself.
Okay. From Chatterjee. He is
Yeah, Chatterjee. Yeah, it's from his side.
okay.
Okay, then let's continue in the 4 o'clock batch, because we are starting with Terraform. We'll continue with Ansible. You can even you can ask us the doubts if you have anything, because you will be a little more good than others, right? Because you have already trained once, so you can go ahead and give me the doubts as well, and we'll continue there.
Yeah. So pipelines, it got completed. Azure pipelines.
No. Like just the basic definition, what is pipeline and how it can be used, and also release pipelines. Just the basics, because once we start looking at the tools like Terraform, Ansible, and all that, then we will be also looking at the pipelines. No, so I just gave the overview for them. Once we learn the tools, anyways, we will have the full-fledged CI and CD full flow for that tool.
Yes. Sure.
Okay, then
Okay.
start applying and let me know if you have any difficulties in clearing it or any doubts.
See,
I know. you will get lot.
Difficulties means we'll face lot of difficulties.
Yeah. Like until you attend five. That's what I'm keeping is the maximum. 5 interviews, then the sixth interview, you will know what they will be asking, so you will be confident. And I would say,
Do you have any that to be that question you have
yeah, it's
attended some you
there.
have prepared some question things so that you can share
Yeah,
with
it's there in the Andalike website. The Andalike repository, which we usually refer, no? There
us.
you have for DevOps interview questions as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And also after attending the interview as well, if you feel something which you could not answer, you wanted help, you can always ping me, so I can get back to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, and good luck for interviews. Right
Thank
now, I know that the market is not so good, but for Azure DevOps, I think it's still there because today also I think I got 2 calls. I did not update my resume from last 6 months, but still I got 2 calls for Azure DevOps only. So yeah, go ahead and like start
Right
uploading
now,
your
the
resumes.
market is not giving money. That is the one question.
Yeah.
I am also getting calls, but not. I am.
They're not giving the package, is it?
Yes, that is the one reason, main reason.
Okay.
And also the joining time period is also that notice period. That is also one
That is also one.
reason. Yes,
Yeah.
3 months. It's
Yeah, it's
enough.
huge. Yeah, good luck, good luck. But anyways, please do notify me once you are placed so that I'll be happy that yeah, my students got placed like
Okay.
that. That's fine. Okay? Yes. Okay, yeah. Then we'll continue in 4 o'clock class. We'll be ending this class. We'll continue there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.